press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello my dear students, so we were discussing about industries, right? Yes, the chapter industries, we came across many things there, right? So we got to know what exactly is an industry. We came up with a definition, what actually is an industry. Even we did discuss about how the industry is been totally like distributed, or say it is divided on the basis of raw material, on the basis of size, on the basis of ownership, right? So today let us know about the further things, that is distribution of major industries. So which is the major industry that is in India, right? So let us know about these things. So very first is, what they say is the world's major industries are the iron and steel industry. So everything that you use, right, everything that you are using, your mobile phone, your utensils, everything, your house, it is built out of iron. So all these things, so that's the reason iron and steel industries are very much important. With that, clothing, right, textile industry. So every now and then you like to dress up, right? So clothing, so textile industry, and the information technology industry. See, information technology industry has come today. Also it is a modern industry, but whereas the steel and textile industry, or say iron and steel industry, it is very old one. Okay, so information technology is emerging now. Okay, it is coming into existence now. So emerging industries is also it is also called as sunrise industries, and it includes information technology, wellness, hospitality, and even knowledge. Okay, so these things are included in there. So something called as RTI, right to information. So those things have come into existence now. So the other thing, the countries in which iron and steel industry, it is located, where and all it is located, let us know. It is located in Germany, USA, China, Japan, and even Russia. So textile industry, it is so totally concentrated in India. So because we are very good, or we are having rich cotton production. Okay, cotton, we are having cotton production more in number, and moreover, what happens as the cotton it is produced, definitely there are many industries related to textile. So even in Hong Kong, you can see most of the textile related to, most of the industries related to textile, even South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. So the major hubs of information technology, especially now because it is emerging one, right? It is very important now. So you can see as the Silicon Valley, that is of Central California, and even Bangalore region for that matter. Okay, so information technology, you can consider these are the most important places wherein it is emerging. Then comes iron and steel industry. See, like other industries, even iron and steel industries are comprising of various inputs. It needs all the inputs. Okay, it undergoes certain process and we get the output. So here also same thing, definitely, even see, unlike other industries, all the industries, they are having the process, right? Industrial system, what we call. So what actually is industrial system? Wherein you need certain input which undergoes certain process, we get a output, right? So in the same way, when it comes to iron and steel industry, it is also very same, there wherein you have something as input, it undergoes certain process and we get the output. So this is a feeder industry whose products are used as raw materials for other industries. So iron and steel industries, do remember, they just give you the feeder, nothing but the output, whatever is produced here will be again used further, either to build a house, railway lines, construction of roads, construction of your bridges, or everywhere those products will be used. Something which is a finished good here is a raw material for other things. So it is a feeder one, feeding, okay, feeding, or say feeder industry we call it as. So the it is used, the finished product which is produced in iron and steel industry will be definitely used for some other things, some other works as a basic, as a raw material there. So the inputs for the industry include raw materials such as iron ore, coal, and limestone, along with labor, capital, site, and other infrastructure. So these are the few things, nothing but what are the inputs which is used, wherein the industry, wherein it includes all the raw materials such as iron ore, first thing, coal and limestone. You see, iron ore, limestone and coke. Okay, like coal, apart from coke it is used, and along with labors are necessary to carry out the work. Capital is used, site, okay, the land form and other infrastructure. So the process of converting iron ore into steel involves many stages. There are many different stages wherein the iron ore is totally converted into the steel there. Let us know the process here. Okay, you can check in figure 5.6, that is the same thing which is given. Okay, no, I am not that perfect, but yet I have tried my best. You can check the same picture in page number 53 of your textbook. Please do refer there. Okay, so here what happens, how the steel, okay, like how do we get the steel, that is informed here, like that the process is given. The raw material is put in the blast furnace where it undergoes smelting. Okay, the process wherein it undergoes certain process, right? So that is called as smelting here. Okay, so it is then refined. Okay, something that is smelted. What is smelting? Smelting is the process, okay, it is the process in which metals are extracted from their ores by heating beyond the melting point. So heating, okay, it is heated, wherein, it is heated at such a level wherein the heating, the level, it increases more than what it requires. Okay, at that particular temperature it is heated, wherein the iron ore, okay, it is getting the metals, extracting the metals from their ores. Okay, from the ores, it is through heating. Okay, through heating we get the metals there. So then it will be refined definitely. So the output obtained is a steel which may be used by further industries as raw materials. So steel is very tough. Okay, iron ore to steel in a blast furnace, you can see the iron ore and limestone and coke and all, it is put, and metal through passing of all this hot air with total smelting, we get molten iron and even slag there. So like that is what we get. So steel is very tough. Okay, it is very tough, but yes, it can be easily shaped. Okay, you can see the utensils and all. It can be cut, it can be made into wire. So that is the reason. After this process, there are certain other processes which helps you shape the steel there. So especially alloys of steel can be made by adding small amount of other materials such as aluminium, nickel and even copper. So special alloys, okay, how that can be done? By adding a certain amount of metals, that is aluminium, nickel and even copper. So alloys give steel like unusual hardness, toughness or ability to resist rust. So you can see your steel utensils and all, right? So steel is often called the backbone of modern industry. So when it comes to steel production, it is the backbone of the modern industry. So almost everything is done out of steel itself, either iron or say steel. Okay, all the tools, machinery, etc. Even if your bench you are considering, the benches where you sit in, even that is made up of iron, right? Yes, so all the things that you're using will be either made up of iron or say steel. So the ships, trains, trucks, autos, they are made up of steel. Even if you are considering the safety pins that you use, even that is made up of steel, or even the needles for that matter, which is made up of steel. So oil wells are drilled with steel machinery. Steel pipelines transport oil. See, even for oil. Okay, so transportation of oil, or say like transferring the oil and all, like the steel material is used there. Minerals are mined with steel equipment. Farm machines are mostly steel. Large buildings have steel frameworks. See, you see the usage? Yes, utility. Yes, steel is used in many ways, right? So that is the reason steel and iron becomes very much important, and you can consider that as the backbone of the modern industry. So before 1800, iron and steel industry was located wherein raw materials, power supply and running water was easily available, because you use chemicals and all there, right? So the water supply, the good availability of raw materials, each and everything was important, very important. And during 1800 we could see that yes, there were more industry is located wherein the raw materials are easily supplied with all the power supply and even running water which is easily available. So later, okay, after that, the ideal location for the industry, it was near coal fields, okay, nearby the coal fields or even close to canals and railways. Okay, we can find iron and steel industry nearby the railways or even the canals, okay, for that matter. So after 1950, iron and steel industry began to be located, okay, later on. So it started being located on large areas of flat land near seaports. Okay, this is because by the time steel was used, okay, like steel works had become very large, iron ore had to be imported from overseas. Nothing but, see, as we couldn't get good iron and all, so from it had to be imported. That's the reason what these people started doing. They started locating the iron and steel industry nearby the seaport so that once they would get it overseas, okay, once they would get it imported, definitely they could use it. So that's the reason to avoid the transportation and all, they started locating near the seaports. So in India, iron and steel industry has developed. Definitely it has developed, taking advantage of all the things, that is raw material, labor, transport and even like market. Okay, it depends upon these things. So the other day while discussing about the factors of industry, so we did discuss, right, the industry is always located in such a place wherein you have these things, right, like say when it comes to industrial location, they always keep in mind the availability of raw materials, the availability of cheap labor with the availability of market, right. So the same thing, even in India they are doing the same thing. So there are many important producing centers, that is Bhilai, okay, Durgapur, like Burnpur, Jamshedpur, Rourkela, Bokhara are situated in a region that spreads over 4 states, that is West Bengal, Jharkhand, Odisha and Chhattisgarh. Okay, so these are the places, major places wherein you can see the steel producing centers. So apart from that, Bhadravati and Vijayanagar in Karnataka, Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, Salem in Tamil Nadu and other important steel centers which are utilizing the local resources. So these are the places wherein we can find steel industries. So now let us know about Jamshedpur here, how the steel industry came there, okay, like what was the reason that was located there. So before 47, there was only one iron and steel plant in the country, whole nation, that is TISCO, okay. So Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited, so it was privately owned then. After independence, the government took the initiative and set up several iron and steel plants. So earlier it was only TISCO, which was a private concern. After independence, government started thinking about locating or starting with many iron and steel industries. So TISCO, it was started in 1907 at Sakshi, okay, near the confluence of the rivers, that is Subarnarekha and Karkai in Jharkhand. So later on, Sakshi was renamed as Jamshedpur. Geographically, if you consider, Jamshedpur is the most conveniently situated iron and steel center in the nation. So if you consider geographically, if you check, okay, the page number 55 of your textbook, you can see how it is located, how useful it is. Okay, the explanation goes like this, that is, Sakshi was chosen. Why did they choose Sakshi? To set up this particular steel plant for several reasons. There are many reasons. Let me tell you one by one. Very first is, this was very near, okay, like 32 kilometers away from Kalimati station on the Bengal-Nagpur railway line. So something that is easily available, something that is easily reachable. Okay, so that was 32 kilometers away, so that was very easy, and it was close to the iron ore, coal and manganese deposits as well as to Kolkata, which provided a larger market. So as I told you, industries always locate themselves keeping in mind certain factors, that is availability of raw materials, cheap labor, including all the other things, right? So if those things like market, like capital, everything, if they are considering, if at all they feel that yes, this place is safe, or say easy availability is there, so that place will be chosen. So now TISCO gets coal from Jharia coalfields, and even iron ore, limestone, dolomite, and even manganese from Odisha and Chhattisgarh. Okay, the Kharka and this Subarnarekha rivers ensured sufficient water supply. So that was another reason why they chose to locate themselves at Sakshi. Okay, government initiatives provided adequate capital for its later development. Definitely. So if at all any industry is emerging, if any industry wants to come into existence, definitely government will help them out to have a better setup. So in Jamshedpur, several other industrial plants were set up after TISCO, that is which produced chemicals or maybe equipments related to the iron, or even tin plates, cable and wire. So most of the agricultural equipments, whatever they needed, all these things were to be produced, so manufactured. So that's the reason most of the industries also came into existence after TISCO. So the development of the iron and steel industry opened the doors for other industries too. Okay, rapid industrial revolution, which we can call it as. Okay, there were many industries that came into existence. There were many developments in the industries that took place because of this iron and steel industry. So almost all the sectors, okay, that is primary, secondary and tertiary sector, okay, they depended heavily on the iron and steel industry for their basic infrastructure. How? See, primary sector, for example, agriculture. If at all you consider the tractor, you need all those iron materials there, okay, for sowing, okay, all the seeds. No doubt people do use their hands, but even after that, few people use machines for that, okay, for there is threshing machine. Yes, separation of this grains with that of the hay, all these things are done by the usage of machines. So that's the reason each and every sector, primary sector, agriculture. So secondary sector, how it depends? Definitely all these things has to happen, right? So manufacturing industries, it needs heavy machinery. Definitely they started depending upon iron and steel industry. How about tertiary sector? For transportation, you need vehicles. Again, vehicles started depending upon the steel, iron and steel industry. So this is how it opened the door. Okay, so like all the sectors started depending upon this, and that is how iron and steel started getting their great importance. So the Indian iron and steel industry consists of large integrated steel plants as well as mini steel plants. It is not only the large steel plants, even the mini steel plants could be seen here, and it also includes secondary producers, rolling mills and even ancillary industry. So let's know about Pittsburgh. Okay, so it is an important steel city of the United States of America. Okay, the steel industry at Pittsburgh, it enjoys locational advantages. What are the advantages? Why it is being situated there? Okay, some of the raw materials such as coal is available locally. So that is the first thing. As I told you, raw materials are necessary for undergoing certain process so that they can get to some finished goods. So here also the raw material, that is the steel industry, like when it comes to the Pittsburgh, the raw material, that is coal, was easily available, while the iron ore, it came from the iron mines at Minnesota, about 1500 kilometers from Pittsburgh. So it was easily available, not that it was not a big deal for them. Okay, it was easily available for them. So between these, that is mines and Pittsburgh, it is one of the world's best routes for shipping. So if you are considering even shipping, that was excellently given. That's the reason they chose to set their industry in this Pittsburgh. Okay, so and even it was very cheap at that particular time. So near this, the famous Great Lakes waterway. So trains carry the ore, okay, from this Great Lake to the Pittsburgh area, and the Ohio, the Monongahela and even Allegheny rivers provide adequate water supply. So see, now industry. Imagine an industry is here. If you are getting good capital from the government, if you are getting cheap labor, if you are getting good supply of water, so why can't they set up their industry? Definitely there will be it will have a prosperity there, right? So even here the same thing happened. So like very few of the large steel mills are in Pittsburgh, Nav. They are located in the valleys of Monongahela and even Allegheny rivers above Pittsburgh and along the Ohio River below it. So now you can see that Pittsburgh is not having much more industries, but yes, above and below Pittsburgh you can see many industries. So finished steel is transported to the market by both land and waterways. So however, see, once the goods are produced, it has to be transported, and it can choose anyhow. Whether it want to export, then definitely waterways will be chosen. If not, land routes. So the Pittsburgh area have many factories here other than steel mills, and these use the steel as the raw material to make many different products, that is railroad equipment, heavy machinery, and even rail. So if at all they want to make any railways or any railroad equipments, etc., for each and everything, these people are also depending totally upon the steel industries. So see, the names of Great Lakes that are Superior, Huron, Ontario, Michigan, and Erie. So Lake Superior is the largest of these 5 lakes, and it lies higher upstream than others. So the term textile is derived from the Latin word texere, which means to weave. So the next one will be textile industry, right? Everybody enjoys to wear clothes, right? Like new clothes, all the nice clothes, something very unique clothes. So everybody loves to wear that. But yes, from where do they come? Textile. So what exactly is textile? So textile is a word which is derived from the Latin word texere. Okay, texere. So textile. So that word has come from texere. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? That is to weave, right? So what actually is like textile industry, what actually it does? Obviously it weaves, right? Weaving. So weaving is done there. Ginning, weaving, all this things, ginning, spinning, all these things goes on there, right? Yes, weaving of clothes. So let us know about the textile industry. Major industry is cotton textile industry. So how that had a bloom, okay, like a booming period in India, and how textile industry has got importance even in foreign nation. Let us know about that. So weaving a cloth from yarn, it is an ancient art. You might have heard about Kabir, right? Yes, Kabir, who had this particular weaving knowledge, right? So cotton, wool, silk, jute, flax have been used for making clothes. So from ancient time, we have this system. So now it is divided on the basis of raw material, that is fibers are the raw materials of textile industry, as you all know, fiber. So fibers can either be natural one or man-made one. So when it comes to natural fibers, it includes all these things, that is cotton, jute, wool, silk, linen. Okay, so all those things are included when it comes to natural, okay, like fibers. When it comes to artificial fibers, or say man-made, okay, man-made, like using chemicals, all these things he'll be doing, right? Man has to do using all the chemicals itself, something that is harmful to the environment he'll be using, right? Yes, yes. But yes, those fibers are also having much more importance, like nylon, polyester, acrylic, and even rayon. So acrylic, rayon, polyester, and even nylon. So these are the 4 materials which is man-made like fibers we can consider, which is not artificial, like which is not totally or which is not at all natural, but it is artificial fibers. So the cotton industry, it is one of the oldest industry. And yes, the industrial revolution in the 18th century, cotton cloth was made using hand spinning techniques, that is wheels and looms. In 18th century, you might have heard, right, charaka and all they used to use, right? Yes. So in 18th century, power looms facilitated the development of cotton textile industry, first in Britain and later in other parts of the world. Today, India, China, Japan and the USA are important producers of cotton textiles. So cotton textiles, so which are very much important. Earlier days with hands and all, they used to have this, okay, they used to weave it. Later on loom, like using like only the spinning techniques, wheels and all they used to use. Now they are using the power loom. Using that they have come up. Earlier days, first place was Britain. Later on it has spread everywhere, that is India, US, everywhere. Okay, so India has a glorious tradition of producing excellent quality cotton textile. So it is having, you know very well, right, what kind of clothing we get, because India is expert in that. So before the British rule, India had spun and hand woven cloth already had a wide market. So India is very famous for all those things, okay, like because they knew the techniques, okay, they had the resources available easily, so that was the reason. So hand woven cloth was expensive and time consuming. Obviously hand woven, even today if you are going to Delhi and all, there are few people who still they do this hand with their hands they do weave, weaving is done through hands, especially the shawls, sweaters and all, okay, which costs more, but yes, it gives you an excellent look, and even it is totally fashionable and you feel very good to wear such clothing. Do try it if you are going there, okay, yes. So the muslin of Dhaka, chinjets of Masulipatnam, calicos of Calicut and gold-wrought cotton of Bharanpur, Surat and Vadodara were known worldwide for their quality and design. So these are the places through which we used to get the hand-woven clothes. But the production of hand-woven, as I told you, it is very expensive and even time-consuming. So traditional cotton textile industry could not face the consumption, so they couldn't get the good competition there. Okay, nobody could compete with them. So new textiles of the West, so they produce cheap and good quality fabrics through mechanized industrial units. So the industry came into existence, so people started depending upon the industries itself, wherein it was very cheap to produce these fabrics, good fabrics, and even it was less time consuming. Definitely people started depending upon those things. So initially this yes, the first successful mechanized textile mill was established in Mumbai. Okay, so the warm moist climate, a port for importing machinery, availability of raw material and skilled labor resulted in rapid expansion. Okay, so Bombay mill, cotton mill. Okay, so Bombay was very much it was the place wherein the first mechanized weaving industry took place there, okay, textile industry, which became very famous because of the easy availability of raw materials, the labor, cheap labor, and even the market, good market, they could get good market. So there was a rapid expansion of the industry. Okay, so initially this industry flourished in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat because of favorable humid climate. See, cotton needs humid climate. If at all you have studied maybe for you guys itself, yes, so the cotton industry, cotton and all we have already discussed, so it needs humid nature, right? Yes. So earlier days it was only in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Because of the humid nature, they had a huge market. But now again, artificial humidity can be done, created. That is the reason you can see, and they can produce the raw cotton is pure and not weight like losing raw material. So this industry has spread to other parts also because of the artificial humidity now. That is Coimbatore, Kanpur, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ludhiana, Puducherry and Panipat, okay, like important centers you can consider here. So that is how it has spread, okay. The next one is Ahmedabad. Let us know about Ahmedabad, for what it was important and all. It is located in Gujarat on the banks of Sabarmati river. Okay, you might have heard about Sabarmati, right? Ashram you might have heard, yes. So it was the first mill which was established in the year 1859 and soon it became the second largest textile after Mumbai. So Ahmedabad was therefore often referred to as the Manchester of India because of the cotton textile, because of the quality they used to produce, the mechanized fabrics. Okay, it was called the Manchester of India. Even Davangere was once called as Manchester, right? Yes. So just to do check why it was called so. Okay, and know about DCM, please. So favorable locations factors were very much important for this, and it was held to be responsible for the development of textile industry, or say this cotton mills you can consider, cotton textile industry in Ahmedabad because of the favorable factors, nothing but maybe easily available of raw materials, water resources, even other things. So that is the reason it was considered to be totally favorable. So this ensured easy availability of raw materials, even the climate was very favorable, and the flat terrain and easy availability of land was suitable for the establishment of the industry. So the flat land, the terrain, whatever the environment was, it was totally favorable for the establishment of textile industry. So the densely populated states, so that is Gujarat and Maharashtra, it provides skilled laborers. So well-developed roads and railway network permits easy transportation of textiles to different parts of the country, thus providing easy access to the market. So whatever is produced or whatever it has to reach, because of the good transportation facility, because of the good railway lines, because of the land connectivity, nothing but the road connectivity, because of that itself, the raw materials are easily reaching the place of manufacture, and once it produces the materials, they are getting a huge market because of the easy transportation of goods. So that was very easy and easily accessible. So Mumbai port nearby facilitates import of machinery and even export of cotton textiles. See, importing heavy machines which are very much important for the textile industry, it is done through Mumbai port. And even export of cotton textiles, it is done through Mumbai itself. So in the recent years, Ahmedabad textile mills have become heavy, having more problem. So several textile mills have closed down. So this is primarily due to the emergence of new textile centers in the country, as well as the non-upgradation of machines and technology in the mills of Ahmedabad. See, whatever industry it is, there has to be upgradation. Nothing but they have to update themselves, right? So if at all the machines or say the technologies are old itself, there won't be production of new things, right? They cannot produce anything that is new, that is unique, that is ultimately there is some innovation, something which is new. Every person wants to have something, they want to wear something very new, which is very unique and all, right? So if at all that is not done, if at all the mill is not reaching the expectation, definitely it has to face the loss. So every industry, it need not be the, definitely here Ahmedabad textile industry, it was closed down only because there was no good upgradation of the machinery, nor they were updated with their technology, right? So that's the reason it was closed down ultimately, that is different. But other industries also have to see that they always upgrade themselves with all the new machines and even the technologies, then only they can have a excellent market for whatever they produce there. So next is Osaka. Okay, so it is an important textile center of Japan, which is also known as the Manchester of Japan. Great, right? Yes, so the textile industry developed in Osaka due to several geographical factors. You see again there, it started blooming. The reason, let us know, very first is extensive plain which is around Osaka that ensured that land was easily available. Okay, for the growth of cotton mills, the land was easily available. Warm, humid climate was well suited for spinning and even weaving. So the suitable climate made it, it was very helpful for weaving and spinning. So the river Yodo, it provided sufficient water for the mills. Labor is easily available. Okay, so labor was easily available, and even the river Yodo, it provided sufficient water. So location of port facilitates import of raw cotton and even for exporting textiles. So the textile industry at Osaka, it depends completely upon imported raw materials. Okay, The textile here, see, when it comes to Osaka, it is totally depending upon, like completely upon the importing of raw materials. It needs certain raw materials there. So cotton is imported from Egypt, India, China and even USA. Okay, these are the places from where they import the cotton. But the finished product is mostly exported, you see. No doubt importing the cotton, but the finished goods they are exporting. So definitely they are in totally they are earning the profit there. So it has a good market due to good quality of goods and at a lower price. Okay, definitely the quality is excellent, which is availability at which is available at a lower price. So though it is one of the important textile cities in the country of late, the cotton textile industry of Osaka has been replaced now, okay, with other industries, that is iron and steel industry, machinery, shipbuilding, automobiles, electrical equipment and even cement industry. So Osaka had a very good booming period. Okay, it has enjoyed the industrial development because there was easily available of all these raw materials and all. They used to import, and whatever finished goods they had, they used to export, and those exported goods had a very good market because of the quality, they used to give the good quality at better price. So that is the reason Osaka had very great importance, like that particular industry. But yes, these industries were replaced by some other industries, that is machinery, shipbuilding, which is again having much more importance of its own. So thus we come to an end of this particular chapter, that is industries. Dear students, if you have any doubts regarding this, please let me know. So how industry is helpful, we have understood that, right? So industry comes under the secondary sector. Definitely it is helping India to develop the economy. So industries, in this we did discuss what actually is an industry, how industry is very helpful, right? How industry it is divided on the basis of the raw materials that is available, the size of capital and even the ownership. So how the industry is divided. We came across the factors which are very much important for industries, for the location of an industry. So you need certain factors there, right? So maybe power, maybe labors, maybe raw materials, everything. So it becomes very much important. Apart from that, we did discuss about industrial system, wherein systematic activity has to be carried out, right? Input, nothing but raw materials, process, output, right? So input is raw material, so the process it undergoes, we get a finished good. So that is systematic or say industrial system. Then comes industrial regions. So the regions wherein all the industries can be located, how they choose their industry location. We came across certain industrial disaster wherein Bhopal gas tragedy is very much important case, right? And even MC Mehta versus Union of India. Next one is distribution of major industries. Today we did discuss about that, including iron and steel industry, including cotton textile industry and how it is distributed. We did discuss about all these things. So with this, dear students, we have come to the end of the chapter, that is industries. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. Thank you so much, dear students, for your patience. Have a great day. Thank you.